In today's video, I want to show you how to calibrate your lens and camera to get perfect focus. Okay, so if you've gone out and bought yourself a really nice fast lens, whether it's a 2.8 zoom or a 1.8, 1.4, 1.2 or even crazier number prime lenses, it can be really hard to get exactly what you want in focus. I'm sure you've had this where you're trying to take a portrait, trying to get the eye in sharp focus, and you either get the eyelashes or you get the cheek or you get the temple, but you don't exactly get the eye. Now, sometimes it can just be a matter of technique, but not always. When camera and lens manufacturers make their stuff, as you would expect, it's the same in every industry, there's a tolerance that they'll allow to go out the door. So let's say 0 is perfect, and it's exactly where it should be in terms of focus. And then I'm making this up, but let's say they'll accept plus or minus 3. Anywhere in that range is close enough and it won't really affect your image. And then if you got a lens that wasn't on 0 and it's plus or minus 3 happened to cancel out the problem you were having with the body, then you're back to perfect. But then when you change to a different lens, you might find different results and think one's sharper than the other, but it could be that they're just slightly out of focus. Or what is more apparent when the lens is also out but in the wrong way, so then they are cumulative. So then you've got both of them, say, focusing a bit too far forward, and then when you're trying to get the eye, you're actually getting half a centimeter in front of the eye. It's a big problem if you only have half a centimeter of depth of field to play with. So today I'm going to introduce the Spyder Lens Cal. It's a fairly simple little contraption. It actually packs flat, but you just sit it on a table or a light stand or whatever, and it's really simple. Okay, I'm going to do this with 2 different lenses. A lot of different cameras support it. I'll put a list of the supported cameras in the caption below. But for Nikon, you go into menu and then setup, and then it's autofocus fine tune. You want to make sure that's on, and then the camera's really smart. It'll remember the exact lens you're using, whether you've got 2 or 3 of the same lens for some reason, or just a couple of different 50 mils. It does it by the serial number, so it'll keep it in mind, because even the same lens, different variations, different models, yours and mine, could be different. So taking a look at the actual target, you can see the 0's on the same plane, and then it's got a bubble level as well, so you can check that it's all nice and level. If you're doing macro, you use this tiny little focus area there to get your focus spot on. And if your autofocus or your focus is absolutely perfect, then the 0, which is on exactly the same plane, will be the sharpest line on this bar. But if you're focused a little bit too far forward, these numbers are going to get sharper, and if you're focused a little bit further back, these lines are going to get sharper. In terms of the distance you want to be away, it depends on your focal length of your lens. There's 2 ways you can do it, either at the distance you always use that lens, or what they recommend is 5 to 10 times the focal length. So this is 50 mil, so that means you want to use it 5 times, 25 centimeters, to 10 times, 50 centimeters away. Now I'm about 45 centimeters here, so I'm right in that range. You want to use it wide open as fast as it'll go. So this is at 1.8, I focus it right in the center. Now let's go to the computer and check the file.
So this isn't the sharpest lens in the world, but it's pretty obvious that the 1 is a lot sharper than the 0. So this is back focusing, not focusing as far in as it should.
Okay, so given that it's, focusing back a bit, I'm going to push it to focus it further from the camera. So let's go all the way up to 10. This goes to 20, and note these numbers don't match those numbers. So let's take another sample. Check that one out on the screen.
Yep, you can see that's clearly getting a lot closer to the 0. It's probably still a couple of lines in front though.
Okay, and I think it could go just a little bit further, so I'm going to go up to 12, let's go 14. Just taking a look on the screen. That looks pretty much right. I'll verify that on the computer, but that looks pretty great. Next up, let's take a look at the 51.2. Now, my 51.2 is manual focus. Famously, Nikon doesn't make an autofocus version. So you could ask, how can you fine-tune autofocus with no autofocus? Well, these cameras allow you to have focus confirmation even with manual lenses. So shooting at 1.2, I'm going to have a tiny depth of field here. I'll have to be really precise to when it indicates that it's in focus, and we'll test based on that. So there's a little bit of play even at 1.2, maybe like a millimeter in the dial here that it's saying is in focus. I'm going to choose right in the center of that range, take a test shot. Let's have a look on the computer. I got to say that's pretty darn close to spot on. I'm going to just go forward 2 points, just ever so slightly moving the focus back. And again, when we move the focus, yeah, it does seem to have made a tiny, tiny difference. Let's take the shot and have a look. Okay, so that's not to say that my lens is a perfect one or necessarily a great version of it. It could be just that it may back focus a little when the body front focuses or whatever. And the reason to calibrate is not that you've necessarily got a dud of a camera or a lemon of a lens. It's just because of that tolerance I spoke about. There are sometimes exceptional ones out there, and there are some that are just so out of focus that the compensation doesn't even work. But if you're using fast lenses, totally worth it. So pretty cool, right? I feel like there's something getting in between us. Yeah, really handy. It doesn't take that long. I suggest taking the time to come and check it on the monitor. I found I saw it a lot better on there rather than on the back of the screen. Yeah. And really pay attention to which line is in sharpest focus. Keep in mind that your depth of field varies. It's normally a third in front and 2/3 behind your focus point. So you really want to see where's the sharpest point rather than just relying on was the one in front or behind sharpest. So it's time for you to calibrate all of your lenses now.
So all along it wasn't my technique, it was my stupid lens.
No, because actually your body doesn't allow calibration, so you can blame it on that.
Yes,
but once you're a pro, technique's
Hey.
never an issue. So
He does it all the time.
I make these videos out of the goodness of my heart to help you guys and people like you, ungrateful people like you, not like them, they're lovely. And all I get is criticism. I'm so sweet to you.
I didn't say
That's a
anything.
beautiful new shirt. Where'd you get that? That's beautiful. That's lovely.
Made me wear it.
And now I can shoot it in perfectly sharp focus. Yeah, so you get it the once, as long as your camera supports it, then you can fine tune all of your lenses. If you for some reason break a lens and get a replacement, you can recalibrate it and it will recognize that was a 24-70, this is a 24-70, but I'm using a different one based on the serial number. And then you'll know that you're getting your perfect close focus. If you shoot a lot, especially wide open at 1.2, 1.8, 2.8, really worth doing that. And I would recommend for the first time, for general use, then do it at, in that 5 to 10 time range. But if you are always shooting, say, head and shoulder portraits from this distance, do the test from that distance, because that's the perfect distance, obviously, to check that it's all in focus.
You're going to be doing it from that distance.
J'adore.
And if you're still misfocusing, then it's your technique.
Yes, and I've got some videos on hand holding that I'll link in the caption below so you can check those out. Please do click to like and subscribe. Make sure you're checking out the channel. We've got a big giveaway going on at the moment. Also jump over to Tina's channel. And if you didn't see it before, we did a whole series of 12 episodes of educating Tina where I ran through a lot of photography stuff, teaching the lovely Tina a bunch of techniques. So check that out, and there will be some news on that front in 2014. So thanks guys, we'll see you soon.
Bye.